Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Jay Cartere, and in this video I'm going to give you some tips on how to win more matches in Overwatch. Also, these are tips for beginners, tips for noobs, tips for anyone who's just started playing Overwatch, or maybe you haven't even played it yet and you're thinking about, not pre-ordering it because it's out now. You're thinking about ordering it or buying it or whatnot, and you want to be good at the game before you just get in there and start getting slaughtered, because it is an online multiplayer game, and yeah, you're going to be facing up against a lot of people who have been playing the game longer than you have. So this will give you a nice little head start. So first of all, first tip is start with an easy character. So I made a video on the top characters for beginners, or the top heroes for beginners, so definitely go check that out. But basically, if you're crap at shooting, pick a support. Mercy's pretty good. There's also Zenyatta's not good for a beginner. I wouldn't suggest that at all. You could also pick Junkrat. He's pretty good for beginners. But yeah, I made a video on the top heroes for beginners, so definitely go check that out. Second tip is use the red lines on the ground at the beginning of a match to predict enemy movement. So at the beginning of the match, if you're defending, you'll see a blue line on the ground which will direct you to your first objective, or the first objective that the enemy is going to attack. And once you get to that, you'll see a red line on the ground that basically goes back to the enemy spawn, and this will most likely be the route that the enemy is going to be following. So if you utilize this information, you can predict where your enemy is going to come from, and you can really shut them down. You can build defenses around there. You can build a turret in relation to where you think they're going to appear and all that sort of stuff. So make sure to pay attention to the routes and the lanes of the maps, and yeah, take some time to actually learn the maps, because that will really give you a big advantage. But obviously, playing it multiple times will get you used to the maps. Like, I'm not even super used to the maps at this point, but I do know certain maps because I've played them a number of times. Also, third tip is play the objective. Now, a lot of people, when they play this game, they just try to go out and get kills and play the game and all that sort of stuff, but that is not what wins you matches. And getting kills doesn't rank you up, so it doesn't get you more loot boxes. It doesn't really do much for you. Now, playing the objective is what you need to do in order to win. Now, winning is what you should be trying to accomplish each match. Like, it's cool to kill loads of people and get like 5 snipes in a row, headshots with Widowmaker, and look super cool, but playing the objective and actually winning is where you actually succeed. So my advice to you is, if you've got an opportunity to get someone away from the objective, the enemy away from the objective, do that. If you find yourself away from the objective and you're fighting with someone for no good reason, like if you're fighting a tracer who's like all the way back in your spawn, walk away from her. Walk away from her. There's no need to chill around fighting a tracer. She's just there to distract you. I'm telling you, she has come out of her little hole to distract you and piss you off. Like, that is what tracer does. So don't allow her to distract you and piss you off. Obviously, shoot at her. Don't just walk past her and expect her to leave you alone. You need to hurt her so that she knows that you're not playing. But don't chase her. Don't chase anyone who's trying to take you away from the objective, especially if the time's low and you need to push the objective. Make sure your mind is always focused on where is the objective. Is the objective captured? How much time do we have left? And what can I do to help my team? Also, I found this out recently. The payload apparently heals you. I don't know how efficiently it heals you. I know you can definitely die trying to escort the payload, so don't think you're invulnerable near it. But yeah, the payload does heal you, so that should encourage you to play the objective. And my next tip is learn where the health packs are. Now, health packs are a real important part of Overwatch, because you don't just regenerate health over time unless you're a support character. Some of those support characters, well, I think all of them generally generate health over time. And some other characters do have shields that generate back over time. But from time to time, you are going to be low on health, and you might not have a support character near you, and you will have to go and find yourself a health pack. So start learning where the health packs are, where you can go to get a big health pack, where you can go to get a small health pack. I think the big health pack fills up like 250 health points, and the small ones, I don't have a clue how much they fill up, but they don't fill up a lot. That's all I know. But yeah, make sure you learn where the health packs are. Keep note of them. When you see a health pack, keep note of where you found it, and just keep that in your mind so you know if you're low on health, you can go back there. By the way, the smaller health packs recharge way quicker than the big ones, so yeah, keep that in mind also. My next tip is go for enemy support characters. Now, I've seen a lot of people online on my team just shooting at the tanks, yeah, where there's a Mercy behind healing the Roadhog or healing the Reinhardt who's trying to push the payload into our base. And that is no good. It's no good. Like, some characters, yeah, it's cool for you to be shooting the tanks, yeah, I can understand. Well, they need to die. Like, you can't just leave them alive. But if you're an assault character, or you're like a Genji, or you're someone who can flank the enemy team, definitely look into getting rid of those support characters. The support characters should be the first person that you try to get rid of in a team. Because if you don't get rid of the support character, then every single piece of damage that you're doing to the rest of the team is going to be negated by whatever healing ability that support character does. So pick your targets wisely. Don't just go for the biggest guy or whoever's annoying you the most. Go for the most strategic targets, which is, you know, the Mercy, the Lucios, all them sort of guys. Symmetra's, you know, she's not that great because she can only put up shields. But definitely just get rid of the support characters before you move on to the other guys. My next tip is listen for the audio cues of ultimates. Now, there are a lot of audio cues of ultimates, and I think I pretty much know them all now. Like, as soon as you hear an enemy player just shouting something out, generally it's going to be a bad time for you. So stay out the open, get in shelter, and just stay away. Like, if you hear McCree say it's high noon, you want to get out of the way ASAP, because you do not want to get shot in the head and give him play of the game or something like that. You don't want to deal with that. And if you hear Genji, you know, shout out some Japanese stuff. I think he's Japanese. I'm not trying to be racist, but if you hear him shout out some words that you may not be able to understand, stay out of the way. You do not want to get chopped up with his blade, and generally you will begin to realize, you know, what kind of audio cue precedes your death by ultimate. So once you learn that, once you hear like a certain phrase and then you die, you will begin to, you know, associate that phrase with death, and you'll be able to be more wary of that. But there are many, and I'm not going to go through all of them here. But yeah, you will definitely get used to them, because I've gotten used to them now, and I know I can hear ultimate from a while away, and it's really hard to, you know, get me with ultimates unless like you just do it out of nowhere, because I can usually hear it and get away and not and try not to die, especially Junkrat. Anytime I hear him say it's fire in the hole, I'm out of there. I'm not in no groups with my team. I'm not clustered up anywhere. I'm out in the corner ready to shoot that tire, because I am not trying to get blown up. But our next tip is change hero when you need to. Now, Overwatch is all about, you know, changing hero and team composition and trying to counter your enemy squad. So basically, there are loads of characters that do well against other characters. For example, Widowmaker is pretty good at getting rid of Hanzo, because she's a sniper, but also Hanzo is pretty good at getting rid of Widowmaker. I would say Widowmaker is great at getting rid of Zenyatta, because one shot to the body and Zenyatta is dead. And Winston is pretty good at getting rid of Tracer, because as long as, you know, Tracer is near to him, he can just shoot his what is that thing called? His particle. It's not a particle cannon, is it? his electricity gun, his Tesla cannon or whatever it is, and that will just basically, you know, lock onto anyone around him. And yeah, because he's got pretty high health, he should be able to get rid of Tracer real easily. Torbjorn is very good against Tracer because his turrets just auto lock on to anyone around, and yeah, Tracer's very vulnerable to that. So there are loads of different characters that do well against other characters. Be sure to do your research on that. I will be making videos on what characters are good at countering other characters. So be sure to look out for that and subscribe to see that. But yeah, be sure to change character when you need to, or change hero when you need to. Don't just stick as one hero if it's not going well. Like, if you die once, then that doesn't mean it's time to, you know, choose another hero. But if you're dying consistently and your team's not moving the objective forward at all, or not capping the objective, or doing anything that you guys need to do, then it might be worth considering trying to change your hero so that you can tip the balance in your favor. The next tip is do your job as the character you're playing. Like, this cannot be stated enough. If you pick a tank, you need to be tanking. You need to be on the front lines generally, and like soaking up damage and keeping your team safe, and allowing the assault characters or the offense characters to get around and squish squishy characters basically. You basically want to do the job that your character is good at. So if you're Mercy, you want to be healing, you want to be powering up people, you want to focus on that. Of course you can take out your gun if you're in like a very bad situation and try and shoot someone, but as Mercy you should not be on the front lines trying to shoot people in the head, trying to get 360 no scopes. Like, that is not what you should be doing whatsoever. So be sure to actually look into the character, see what their good, like their best abilities are and what they're good at, and try to play into that. Don't try and pick a character and change what they're good at, because you'd probably do better picking a character that's already good at that. My next tip is a bit of an advanced one, but I hope you guys can, you know, just, yeah, I hope it still helps you guys out. And that is avoid neutral gunfights. And what I mean by that is basically avoid gunfights where your opponent knows where you are and you know where your opponent is, and it's neutral and you both have a good chance at killing each other. That is generally the worst gunfight to be in. What you generally want to do is try to gain an advantage and find a way to shoot your opponent in the back. Now, I know it sounds very dishonorable, it sounds terrible, it sounds like, how could you do that? How could you shoot him in the back? That's not what real honorable soldiers are supposed to be doing. But yes, sometimes you gotta play dirty, you gotta just do what needs to be done, and don't get into a gunfight where your opponent can see you and shoot back. You want to get into a gunfight where your opponent is shooting at your friends and you can just shoot him in the head. That is the best gunfight to be in. So if you ever have an opportunity to change the the circumstances of the gunfight you're in, be sure to go and do that. Make sure to try and flank your opponent. If you're shooting at your opponent and your opponent's shooting at you, consider going round some sort of building to, you know, go and shoot him in the back instead of just trying to shoot him head on. Because generally, if you're shooting someone head on, like, the person who's going to win is the person with the biggest damage output or the person with more skill, and that is not on the playing field that you want to be on. You want to be behind them, so the person that wins is you. That's what you want. You want the person that wins in the gunfight to be you. You don't want it to be the most skilled person. You don't want it to be the guy with the most damage output. You want it to be you. And when you shoot someone in the back, generally the person who wins that gunfight is you. So those are my tips, guys. I hope this video helped you out. Please hit that like button if you did. Be sure to subscribe, as I'll be putting out loads more Overwatch tip videos. And if you want to check out the rest of my tip videos, you can click on the playlist on the screen. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what tutorials or tip videos you want next. If you've got any tips to share with the community, then be sure to leave that in the comment section below, and I'll probably make a video on it if it's very good and give you a little shout out. Yeah, if you got any stuff that you want to suggest, I'll also make a video on that and give you a little shout out too. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long. won't I share with you?